Story time. So some time ago, I told a story on one of my other social media apps, one of my other social media platforms. And I wanted to come here and expand on YouTube. But before we get started, for those of you who are disappointed that you don't hear an echo, it's because it's dead. But it's still gold. So that is symbolic of us being golden. See how I did that? See how I did that? Yeah. Also, why am I wearing this costume, this Poison Ivy DC's comic costume? Because I wrote a comic book of my own, and it's called Namakasi, and you can pre-order it on November 15th. So I just wanted to be in character so that as you guys watch the video, it's a constant reminder to subscribe to my website. The link is below so that you can be notified when you can pre-order. Okay? Anywho, let's get started. All right? So some time ago, I was working at a hospital, night shift, and there was this patio session. Patio session is a really interesting term that I just used there. I wanted to say patio section, not session, but it's funny that I said that because I used to do patio sessions where I sat on my patio and sang. Anyways, that's not what I meant to say. Patio section of the hospital, where I would go sit outside and a bunch of other nurses would do it too. But the good thing about working night shift is that not a whole lot of nurses would be out there, or healthcare professionals, or any other staff that work in the hospital. Not a whole lot of them would be out there when I go out at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know? And another good thing about this was that it was smack dab in the middle of the summertime. So even at 3 a.m., there was a nice breeze. It wasn't freezing, and it was a welcome breeze because of all the heat I was experiencing from running around that night. It was a pretty busy night. Anywho, so I get out there. There's a couple of other nurses or a couple of other healthcare staff, and the 2 out of the other 3 that were out there had gotten up and left while I was sitting out there. So it's just me and this other staff member. I don't know. I don't care. So at one point, I do whip out my phone to just start scrolling my social media apps. And of course, I opened up one of them and it's immediately on a reel or a video, you know, and it's loud. So I'm immediately like, this girl's about to turn around and look me dead in my face or roll her eyes or say something slick. And honestly, I can't even be mad because when we come out here, we're looking for peace and quiet, you know? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. So there's no confusion about what people are coming out here for. And here I am whipping out my phone with this loud video playing, not taking into consideration that I should have probably had my earpods in before I did that. So I understand the annoyance that I am anticipating getting ready to experience from this other healthcare member, staff, whatever. So she does turn around and she does glare at me. However, I say the word glare, but when I looked up at her, I had this like look on my face, and I'm getting ready to apologize immediately because like I said, I understand. You want peace and quiet, and I'm kind of being rude. She doesn't really have a facial expression on her face. She's just looking at me. And I feel like it was meant to be sarcastic, like a deadpan look, like cut it out, like stop. You know, like what are you doing? You know? And I feel it. I understand. So immediately I'm like, sorry. And then I look down at my phone and I look back up and she's still staring at me. So it went from apologetic to kind of awkward. So I just went ahead and apologized again. She doesn't say anything. She also doesn't look away. Her facial expression remained the exact same. So it went from apologetic to awkward to now a little bit of fear. It's just the 2 of us out here. It's dark. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. This is the hour that strange things happen. I am uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. So in an attempt to eliminate both the fear and the awkwardness, I said, sorry, did you say something to me? You know? Because homegirl is still staring at me. I'm getting ready to get up and just go ahead and go. And my phone rings. Not on silent. So she looks down at my phone and then finally turns around. And it's my grandmother. So I answer the phone and I'm kind of whispering as if she doesn't already know that I'm on the phone. But I'm also uncomfortable. And my grandmother's like, where are you at right now? Immediately. And I was like, I'm at work. Why? And she's like, wherever you are, get up and leave now. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why? What's going on? And she was like, are you getting up? And I was like, yes, I'm going. So I grabbed my phone, my little peanut butter and jelly sandwich, my hearty meal for my 12-hour night shift, and I make my way out of that little patio area. And I don't know what it was that made me turn around, because I really didn't need to make eye contact with Awkward Girl again. But there was nobody there. There's only one way in and one way out of that patio area. You understand what I'm saying? She was not there anymore. I need y'all to understand something about hospitals. Death takes place there a lot. It happens a lot. And I know that that's pretty self-explanatory, but when I tell a lot of these stories, I just need to emphasize that people do die in the hospital. So it is not strange to experience supernatural activity where a lot of death does take place. And I know that I've mentioned in previous videos that my grandmother has educated me on the spiritual realm, the spiritual world, spiritual warfare, and how oftentimes they are in search of something. And if it is in you, there will be an attempt made to retract that, to get it, to retrieve it. And that is what my grandmother believes takes place. And so when I told her what happened, she was like, you see what I'm telling you? Or you just don't want to listen when I talk. Get up and leave. Essentially, she was saying, like, when I tell you to do something, don't ask questions. Stupid. Just do it. And I told her the whole thing, you know, from top to bottom. I shared the experience with her. And I'm thinking that I don't understand. It was such a strange experience for these two other nurses to get up and leave and for me to still be there. So you know what Granny said? Whomever or whatever that was, the intent was for me and it to be alone. Those other two healthcare staff probably didn't even know why they had the urge to get up and leave. But the intent, again, was for me and it, that entity, to be alone. For whatever to take place. Man, when I tell you it is such a beautiful thing to know that you are in tuned and spiritually aware. Good Lord. Good Lord. With that story having been told, I do want to stress that my comic book is heavily influenced by my grandmother. Because to me, my grandmother is a superhero. And my comic book is a superhero story. Green is my favorite color, which is essentially the reason why the main character, ANYWHO, her costume color is also green. A lot of that comic book, I have poured me into it in very subtle ways. Some ways not so subtle. Anyways, I'm really excited about it. I hope you love my uniform and the efforts that I have put in to get y'all to understand that this comic book is live. I hope you enjoyed this story. Make sure you subscribe. I know your girl has been a little MIA, but as you can see, I've had my hands full with projects. So subscribe to my website. Check out my link tree. Make sure that you guys order my comic book or pre-order it on November 15th. Thanks so much for your patience, your kindness. You guys are lovely. Chef's kiss.